Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Oh man, we have an incredible episode today. Cipha's on the road. I was out at the summer residence. Uh, you know with the vibes. Cipha and I have not been in the same place a lot because we're both running around. But guess what? We got to sit down with the icons, Mr. Walt and Evil D of the Beatminerz, and have one of my favorite conversations in a very long time. And we're getting into that right now. Let's let the shit talking begin, because before we even started talking to our guests, who were thrilled to be joined by the Beatminerz, who have a new album, Stifled Creativity. Yes, a new Beatminerz album. But before we even got to them, you were already talking your nasty anti-Brooklyn shit.
No.
That's not really what he's saying. He was saying that he had the love for Menudo and he wanted us to go.
Menudo.
Right. Menudo was his favorite group.
Wait, does this mean that probably for 25 years, Mr. Walt has been making Puerto Rican jokes to you, and then you talk back with Brooklyn?
I never heard of Mr. Walt Puerto Rican joke.
No, never.
What? I'm about to say, whoa.
No, but you know what it is? Okay, here's my problem with Juan EP. Here's my problem with our horrible podcast. He said, yo, we're going to have the Beatminerz on tomorrow, and I didn't know you had a new album out, so congratulations. Hip hop still lives, you know what I mean? But like in my mind, I was like, why haven't we already had them on 10 times?
I know.
Because you are the essence of what Juan EP podcast is. You understand?
Really?
Like, the music you guys did and we were raised on is a very big deal to us and the people that like what we do. And then also Evil D, me and Evil D had a relationship for many years because he was on Hot 97. So we would always see each other. And Mr. Walt, like I remember Mr. Walt when we used to be at NYU, Mr. Mayhem and Martin Moore College Radio. And it was just shit talking, fucking like the Bronx versus Brooklyn shit just never dies.
And Fat Beats too. Fat Beats.
Fat Beats.
But like you are the essence of what Juan EP is.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
We just to I don't know, if you give any flowers nowadays, everybody's like, oh, you nut hugging, you glazing the dills, Nick.
Glazing is out of control. You can't say anything without glazing.
Nothing. You can't say anything without people saying you glazing. I'm like, what? We're not supposed to show love? But like Black Moon, I just saw Tech and Steel the other day at Scratch Bastard's thing in New York, the Scratch Bastard Barbecue.
Right.
Black Moon, Smith & Wesson, OGC, fucking Helter Skelter, like that was a big part of my coming of age story, you might say. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody of our age, man. Do you guys? Let's start there for a second. Then I'll start with you, Evil. Do you feel like is that a consistent feeling you've gotten? Like, do you walk around knowing that there's a whole generation of people that your music has really, really spoken to?
Believe it or not, I try not to think about that like that because I don't want to be the dude with the crazy ego. And also, me not thinking about that keeps me hungry and keeps me working the way that I work.
Yeah.
Like I know what I did. I'm very thankful and I'm happy that I'm still relevant. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like I try not to think about it.
What about you, Walt? Does it ever come up in your life like that people just sit and talk to you and go like, yo, man, you don't know what you guys meant to me?
I mean, it happens. Like people come up and talk to us about it, and really, that keeps us humble.
Yeah,
that just keeps us leveled, and and it keeps us staying with our core sound. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's probably a little different for Evil D because you was in the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have a little more FaceTime in the videos and shows where the Beatminerz were you two on the side making all the music.
Right.
It's probably your brother's a bigger star than you, Walt. Is basically what it is. He's a bigger star.
No, he he was like the Diddy, no Diddy. You know, he put himself in front of the. He was all up in the group. You know, all up in front of the camera. You know.
Hey,
2024, you cannot compare yourself.
You're right. You're right. I apologize.
Yeah.
Let me think of another comp.
Nah, but you know, one thing I will say though is like, yeah, you know, people definitely. The thing that bugs me out now is the kids that come up to me and go, "Yo, that Enter the Stage, yo, my dad or my mom used to listen to it, and I started listening to it, and da 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 da."
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
You know,
to know that you're that music.
Enter the Stage is fucking like pretty flawless, bro.
Well, hold on. Before we get that, I just looked at your guys' discography. Your first credit listed on Wikipedia is the Ultra Mags Papa Large single. Is that correct?
Right, but we didn't do that. Like, Beatminerz was a crew. Yeah. So the first one to get put on was our friend Ike Lee. He was the first one to get put on, and he had the opportunity to do that remix. And he said, "Joe, I'm going to use the Beatminerz name for that." I was like, "Cool."
Wait, so, he did the Papa Large, big shot on the East Coast. He did that?
Papa Large, yeah, he did.
Oh, I never knew who did that.
Like the main version that everyone loves. Wow.
Yeah, so he
did technically that was a remix, but that's the one. That's the only one I know.
Right, that's the one that everybody knows.
Yeah.
So that, and then he went with that, and he opened the door for me and E to take it. Even though I originated the name, he's the first one out the gate, and then he took it the rest of the way. So
how did you guys get the opportunity then? Evil, like had you just known Buckshot forever? What was your guys' foray in?
Now, what happened was me and 5FT was in high school together, and I was putting together a talent show. You know, back in the days, talent shows was the big thing, and I was putting together a talent show. And 5 he wasn't rhyming, he was dancing. He was the ill dancing dude, and I stepped to 5 and was like, "Yo, I want you to be a part of this show." He was like, "Yo, I could do that, but in order for me to rock, I got to bring my homeboy with me, and he doesn't go to this school." And I was like, "Yo, bring your homeboy around to my crib, and we're gonna let's talk about this and make this happen." His homeboy happened to be Buckshot.
Wait, what school did you go to?
Bushwick High School out here in Bushwick, Brooklyn.
Bushwick High School, which is very different now.
Yeah. Now
it's not even called Bushwick High School now.
Yo, whoa, it's crazy.
I think it's
now.
called like the High School for Free Cheese or something like that.
It's berserk. It's all soft and safe now.
Right.
So you was from Bushwick.
Yeah.
Still was from Bushwick, and then where's Buckshot? Where was Buckshot? What school he went to?
Buckshot's from Crown Heights. I don't even remember what
school
he went
Cipha, that is a good question. We don't know what school he went to.
I forgot. That's
crazy.
No, I knew, but I totally forgot. It's that long. That's like 30-something years ago.
Well, this is something I try to teach Rosenberg. It's like it's New York language, right? It's like, oh, when you meet somebody, what's your name? You exchange names.
Yeah.
You say, where you from? Where you from means where do you live in New York?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then what are you means, are you Caribbean? Are you Polish? Are you fucking Puerto Rican? Right. And then once you get past that, then you start going, well, what high school you went to?
Yeah, what high? No. I'd say,
that
listen,
starts determining who you know,
let me tell you something.
Where you been.
Let me tell you something. My biggest thing was knowing where anybody in the game, what high school they went to.
Yeah.
Oh, Q-Tip, he went to Murray Bertram. I don't know. Organized Confusion went to fashion or something like that. I think they went to fashion.
Where did Mike Geronimo go to high school?
I want to say maybe John Bound, maybe.
What about Royal Flush? Sam?
Maybe.
I want to play this game.
So it bugged me out because I knew where everybody went. I knew Jay-Z went to Westinghouse. I knew Busta and Biggie went to Westinghouse. So it bugged me out. When I found out that Nas didn't go to no school, I said, "Oh, yo!"
What do you mean?
Nas was home taught. Nas didn't go to high school.
Nas, that's crazy.
Nas
it's funny you say that because he never mentioned anything about a school.
Right.
I was just thinking the same thing. I've never heard where he went to
'Cause
high school.
Large
Because
went to
everybody knows
downtown.
the story that Busta, Biggie, and Jay-Z, for one way or another, were in the same school at the same
They went
time, different
they went
years
to
though.
Westerhouse, right.
But like you always hear about, like, especially Brooklyn, you always hear people shout out boys and girls or
Or
but like
Brooklyn
never
Tech,
heard
right,
Nas.
Wait,
Because I throw people off because I went to aviation in
right,
Queens,
right.
but anytime anyone asks me where I went to school, I go, I went to aviation in Queens, but my zone school was Columbus in the Bronx, because
Right.
you got to let them know
where you're from.
where you from.
Yeah.
By the way, and
And
not
I
a lot
went
of
to a
people,
specialized school.
not a lot of people know this, but all the problems that Boeing's been having, that's all Cipha. Cipha is really that you could blame aviation. That is all Cipha. No, wait,
Aviation
Walt,
high
you were about
school.
to say where did Large Pro go to school?
He went to John Bound.
So he went to John Bound, but then Nas didn't go to school. Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So when we saw Time is Illmatic, and he explained that him and Jungle, the father was like, "You guys are smarter than the teachers. You guys don't need to go to school." It blew everybody's mind. Like, wow,
Oh, that is crazy.
right?
Do people care about Long Island high schools, or it doesn't matter?
No, that don't even count.
It doesn't
No.
even count. Who gives
No.
a shit? It's just the 5 borough or Staten.
Yeah, but I moved to Long Island in 10th grade. And
Really?
yeah, I moved to Long Island in 10th grade because my mom got a promotion at her job, whatever. So we had to move. But
Right.
that's what made me who I am, because
Mhm.
I would just walk out of my house in the Bronx and hip hop would be everywhere. I didn't even know it was a thing. It just was
Right.
what was there. Then when I
Yeah.
moved, it was quiet.
Right.
So I had to go find the hip hop, which was
Right.
Video Music Box, Yo MTV Raps,
Mhm.
Clark Kent and Pete Rock, and on the radio, and Kid Capri
Right.
at 7 o'clock BLS. And then
That's
that's
right.
what made me like have to go buy records, get turntables. So I think if I didn't move, I might not have made it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Do you realize, Cipha,
But that's
that
where I got fucking.
your career then followed the exact same path? You started out in the Bronx, Hot 97, and then moved to the suburbs, white ass comedians on tour with Burt Kreischer. You did it twice. The exact same thing.
You're right. No, I reverted. Yeah.
All right, so 5FT was really the origin of how you, Evil, ended up in Black Moon. But you guys were always working on music together?
Yeah, like what it was I was around my way. I was known as like I was known as the DJ dude, and in school I was known as the DJ dude / drum player. And basically all I was doing was imitating Mr. Walt, because Mr. Walt's my older brother. Little brother always, he always
Imitate.
follows big brother,
I did the same.
and it's
My
like
brother's just not talented.
and it's like, so when we finally did the talent show, it was like, yo, and it was 4 of us back then. It was 5FT, Buckshot, and Finster, my boy Finster from the group Finster Bundy.
Wait, oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
wow.
the 4th member of Black Moon.
I did not. I remember the Finsta Bundy indie records. I did
Right.
not realize that. Okay.
Yeah. And, now when we all got together, we started making demos and we all was rhyming. I was sounding like hot garbage.
I had to tell him to stop rhyming because his voice was sounding crazy. I said, dude, stop doing that.
Yo, it was a horror show. And finally one day we sat down and it was like, yo, check this out. Like, I don't want to rhyme because I think I'm trash. And actually I was trash, but at least I was able to say that.
Right.
And that's when Buck, 5, and Finster started doing all the rhyme shit. Look, can I curse or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Started doing the rhyme shit and all that. And so then Finster left the group. You know what I'm saying? Finster left the group because he had to do adult things. So he left the group to take care of his responsibilities. And Black Moon. That's the short story. You know what I'm saying? And then we did a show, and Chuck Chill Out was at the show, And Chuck Chillout was like, yo, I'm working with this label. I want to take y'all up to the label, blah, 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 blah. We go up to the label, we get our record deal.
And that was did y'all do Who Got the Props at the talent show or no?
No. Who Got the Props wasn't even made. Like, the beat was made, but we actually got signed for a record called Feminine Hood, which was, it was like a gangster bitch type record. And what happened was, like, now Walt worked at the Music Factory, and he knew everybody. Like,
That's the record store.
Yeah, he worked at the Music Factory in Jamaica, Queens.
Yeah.
And he knew, like, Q-Tip, Large Professor, like, he knew mad people in the industry.
Q-Tip is the one who named me Mr. Walt. What's Music Factory without Mr. Walt?
Yeah.
He gave me that name.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. I never.
Crazy.
Cipha, did you ever put that together?
Yeah.
In what?
In what? What's
Cipha,
Music
did you
Factory?
ever put together that in the song "What" he goes, "What's Music Factory" without Mr. Walt?
Where?
Nope. Didn't even think of that.
I never. And obviously, now that you say it, I'm like, yeah, he does say that.
Right.
He gave you that name
He gave
Just
me that
knowing you
name.
at the store, just seeing you.
before the store, and then he said it in the song, or you heard it first time in
No,
the song?
him, Jerobi, Fife, and Tip used to always come to the store, and they always hang out. Fife was there on the regular. That's how we all became friends. Like,
Where exactly
Right.
was Music Factory?
in Jamaica, Queens,
In Jamaica.
and I was there from '87 to '91.
And but that was just I don't mean just, sorry. That was a record store
Yeah,
that had all the new stuff.
Right.
But did it have
Everybody-
old stuff too? Were they in there digging too?
I used to order all the break beats. That's how
Mm.
I met Large Professor. I used to order the break beats, and he would come in and ask what break this is, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's this break," and blah blah blah, and this and that. I would order, like, I would be ordering. All
Wait,
the
how many? This is a very crazy record store question.
Really?
How many times did people come in with Kid Capri 52 beats and be like, "What's this one?"
I don't
What's
think
this?
52 Beats was made yet.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right. I don't think
So you
52
already knew the fucking breaks before.
Yeah, because this was my life. I just
Yeah.
I knew what it was, but I don't think 52 was made yet. But
Yeah, that might
like
have
I
been
said,
91 or something. 92.
Right.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
met
Yeah.
I met everybody. I met LL. LL used to come in. Run D and J used to come
This
in.
is what they'd buy
buying
cassettes.
records, and they would come and test their records in the store.
Oh shit!
And
Biz,
yeah.
come in, Biz used to come in and play almost this whole album.
Wow.
Well,
Everybody came into this. That's
what would
how I
he-
met
Wow.
everybody.
Biz would come in and bring like the test press, or he'd bring like what would
No,
he bring in to play it
bring
on?
cassettes.
A
He would bring
cassette.
a cassette. Yo,
Straight out
how's
the
this
studio.
sound? What, like, when he would come in, like he would play the Vapors, right? But back then, the Vapors wasn't the Vapors that we know.
Well,
The
what was it?
Vapors was This Is Something for the Radio, and This Is Something for the Radio was the Vapors. All he did was
Beat?
just
You talking about the
play it up.
beats?
The beat, the Papa, I mean, the Papa Don't Take No Mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was This Is Something for the Radio.
Oh
wait, what?
shit!
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, Walt.
And then the beat, the New Position beat was for the Vapors, and then he switched it.
Wow.
Why did he?
Chicken Boogers.
What?
Wow.
Chicken Boogers was originally Ashley's Roach clip, but he changed it because Eric B. and Rakim had paid him for it.
Holy shit! That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And you wow, you remember that whole
Same
time.
rhymes on Vapors.
Same rhymes. It was a little more up tempo.
I was about to say radio, TV, and
Right.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. He flipped it.
But Kane wrote those rhymes, right?
Right.
Kane wrote Vapors to the "This Is Something for the Radio" beat,
Right.
Mhm.
and then they didn't. It was too fast or whatever. Then they put it on the other beat.
Switched it to the Papa.
Oh, that's
Papa Don't Take No
fire!
Mess.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Everybody would come in and be like, "Hey, this is my new shit." Blah 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 blah. That's why. And I'm sorry to bring this up, but that's why one time I heard Peter say, "Super Lover C had New York on lock." Like in '88, and I was wherever he said that in radio or whatever, I was yelling at my radio. No, he did not. He didn't do hell no. Super Lover C didn't have shit on lock.
Are you sure I didn't just say girls
Never.
got him locked?
No, you said Super Lover C had New York on lock. Super Lover C never had New York on
Oh,
lock.
listen, I don't. Well, I rarely defend myself because I say a lot of dumb things.
I know, and it's
I just
cool.
can't imagine I would have said that though. I would have been speaking. Maybe I said it was big because it made it to me. On New York, I need you to find the tape. I'm gonna need you to find the tape.
Okay.
You're gonna
And
have
I
to
was
dig
like,
through the.
I said, how did he have New York on lock when Top Billing was a bigger record than Do the James?
And by the way, and how would I have known in my house in Maryland? But I mean,
Maryland.
but I did love Girls Got 'Em Locked at the time.
Yes.
So wait, all of these artists would pop through the store just to like either listen to music or see their stuff. I'm sure sometimes they just wanted to see the 12-inch sitting on the wall, right? Make sure y'all had it in a good position.
Exactly. There was a couple of gentlemen from Long Island that used to come in there with weird haircuts. And I used to always watch them. Be like, yo, watch these guys. These guys look like they're stealing. And I always was like, I don't trust these guys. They got the weird cuts. They coming in here. They not buying nothing. And they're just looking around. I said, who are these weirdos? De La Soul.
They would make the trip in?
Yes, they would make the trip in. Maceo, he grew up in Bushwick. So we knew him, but we didn't know. Like, we didn't meet, but we knew he lived in Bushwick. And then he moved to Long Island. Then he got a weird haircut, and then he went to buy records.
And they would drive in?
Right.
They would drive in?
Every Saturday.
Wait, I'm sorry. This is a very New York question.
Right.
How did you get from Bushwick to Jamaica, Queens to go to work every day?
J-Train. J-Train.
J-Train goes straight there?
Parsons Boulevard. Take it to Parsons.
And then walk.
I don't know how to move around between Brooklyn and Queens. It's always been a problem for me.
No, that's meant for people who are from Brooklyn and Queens.
Yeah,
You're not supposed to know that. You're not.
J-Train right. J-Train straight.
Yeah.
Wait.
Stop.
Walt, one more thing about the store. Did Red or Marley or the radio DJs come into the store also at all?
Not Marley.
Because that's far, Jamaica, Queens.
Right. And plus they were getting the records.
Right. They're already getting them.
And stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, but still, but like Music Factory is a famous record shop, but you had to really want to go there if you lived in the Bronx or Manhattan. You know what I mean? Like, because then we had, downtown Brooklyn was a little better because you had Beach Street,
right?
Whatever. You could cross the bridge, be right there on Fulton. But if you want to go to Music Factory, it was a mission.
But keep in mind, Music Factory was a chain. There was one in Brooklyn. There was one on 40 Deuce. There was one in the Bronx. And
was it Fordham Road?
Right.
Yeah, that's the one I know. But that one wasn't as. For some reason, the Queens one was more famous.
How far are you from the Coliseum?
It's right up the block.
Got it. So it could be part of people's whole Saturday.
Right.
Is that you come through.
Oh, for sure.
Right. You will go buy a record and go down the block, go to Shirt Kings, get a shirt made and stuff like that. Yeah, like that was the Queen's thing.
Man, I went to the Coliseum recently. My boy, every time Cardinal Official comes to New York, he has to go to the Coliseum. I'm like, first of all, Cardi, I'm from the Bronx, bro. We didn't go to Coliseum. But I guess he's like, to him, it's like right off the airport. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Bro, I went there recently. It's sad.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
The whole block is like,
I wonder if it could ever be rebuilt. Like if anyone could rebuild that block and make it something.
Didn't they say something about Nas was buying the Coliseum or something? Did you hear that?
No,
it sounds very Nas. I didn't hear that.
Because one thing about Nas moves very.
Oh no, the Coliseum got sold. That's what I think. They're making it into condos or whatever.
Yeah.
No, but bro, man. I went to the bath. I was down. We were shopping. I went to the bathroom. I'm like, this was dangerous.
Right.
Back in the day, this little hallway here, this was dangerous.
Right.
All right, so now you guys at the stage at which Black Moon is starting, Evil, you're 3 years younger than your brother.
Right.
At the early part here, Walt, were you doing more and Evil was learning, or were you already both just completely hands on, or one person found the sample, the other person chopped it? How did you guys work?
No,
go ahead.
Walt.
No, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. Walt everything started with Walt. Like Walt started DJing, then I started DJing. Walt had a group. Walt was a part of a group. Was it Potentially Dangerous?
Yeah.
And Walt was in the studio.
No syllables.
It's a lot of syllables, bro.
Walt was in a group.
By the way, it's a bad sign, Cipha. If your group is really famous, but about the other group, you start it with "was it" as a question. It didn't turn out good.
Potentially dangerous.
Bro,
That's a
6
lot of
syllables. Yeah.
Yo, like, but Walt, they was in 1212 Studios working on their demo,
12.
and I'm tagging along because this is what I want to do too. Like when Walt had his crew, I made my crew. So while Walt was busy working on his music, I was with my crew from around here working on my music. And then what happened is Walt started going to the studio. Me and my crew, we couldn't afford to go to the studio. So what we did was Walt, me and Walt started buying equipment, and we bought a 4-track. So Walt will actually go to the real studio, and I'll be in here on the 4-track. And that's like how the Black Moon demos got made. When Walt would go to work, we would go in his apartment and have a session. And then when Walt would come home, we'd be sitting on the steps like nothing happened.
Until I found out they were using my equipment. Put something back out of place. You know how when you set everything, you leave, came back, like maybe a record was moved in a certain way. I was like, wait a minute, someone was in here.
Yeah, but it's like, but that's how we ended up working. And then, once we realized how there was a cheap studio in Manhattan, we decided to book a session at Calliope. And session was, it was all right, but it is what it is. And we ended up staying at Calliope when we got our deal. We ended up, once we got the record deal, we ended up going to Calliope. And it was like, I started stealing Walt's records so I could make these beats.
Where's Calliope again?
Calliope was on 30. It was on 33rd and 9th.
Right.
33rd and 9th.
Yeah, it wasn't the original Calliope that was on 37th.
Diamond did his first album in there. Jungle Brothers, De La Tribe.
Yeah.
Everybody worked out of it.
I don't think I ever went there. 33rd and 9th.
You went. Yeah. You probably. It was on the Penthouse. You probably didn't.
Nah, I don't think I ever went to Calliope. I was a little after that. Like,
right.
I remember the first time I went to D&D, I thought I was in heaven. I could die after this.
What was on the did any of the stuff that you guys were making at the beginning make it?
No. Only the only thing that made it was Act Like You Want It.
Act like that makes sense.
Act Like
that sounds like an older,
right.
That sounds like a little bit of an older song compared to the rest of the stuff on the Black Moon album.
Yeah, that
was the B side of what you call it, right?
How many MCs?
Yeah, How Many MCs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we got into the studio, we just started we would do our pre-production here, and then go to the studio and do what we got.
When you say here, you're in the house now where you did that?
Yeah,
you're in the same house.
Yep, to this day.
Shit, that's crazy.
It was your parents' house. Now it's your house.
Now it's our house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, are you both in the same house right now?
I'm on the 3rd floor. He's on the 1st floor.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yep.
So it all happened right there. That's crazy. It is so fun.
Brooklyn.
Act Like You Want It. You guys had such a now that I look back, I didn't think about it at the time, but there's such like a 90s hip hop formula of the chorus being so very straightforward. Act like you want it. Act like you want it. Act like you want it. Like if you go through that, who got the props? Who got the props? Who got the props?
Now here's the funny thing. Now it was funny because I was telling y'all the story before of how we got signed for this record, Feminine Hood,
which I couldn't find anywhere, by the way. That is not on YouTube anywhere.
But I'll tell you why.
Okay.
So once
you did it to the beat of Vapors.
Nope. What happened was me and Walt was walking. I think I had a meeting. We had a meeting at Nervous or something. Me and Walt was walking, and we bumped into Large Professor. And Walt was like, "Yo, so what's up, man? What you working on, Paul?" And he was like, "Yo, I'm working with this new rapper named Apache. God rest the dead." And Apache got this record coming out. Yo, it's crazy. It's called Gangsta Bitch. It's about da-da-da. And then when he said that, I was standing there like, Yo, that's my idea. That's me and Buck and Five's idea. So when I got home, because this is pre-cell phone, when I got home, I called Buck's house and was like, yo, I got some bad news. We can't come with that record because, yo, it's on Tommy Boy and they're part of Warner Brothers and
Produced by Tribe.
Yep, it was who produced Gangsta Bitch?
Tribe.
Oh yeah, it was. My bad. I was like, yo, and we're gonna get slaughtered, Joe. We gotta think of something else. Cause yo, like this is, it is what it is. And plus we didn't want to seem like we was biters.
No, you couldn't.
So
how was the record though? Was it a decent record?
It was a cool, like, now that I listen to it, it was aight compared to all the stuff we've done.
It wasn't Gangsta Bitch though.
No.
Okay.
What was the sample? Would we know it?
Nah, it was an Al Jarreau record.
It wasn't like
Al
a known
Jarreau.
breakbeat.
Yeah, I sped up an Al Jarreau record.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are learning about each other.
The way I looped it, it was kind of funky. It was awesome. It was one of them kind of back in the days type records.
Right. Do you have it on MP3?
No.
Okay, just
I
check.
got it on cassette, and I probably will never release that record.
Okay,
but,
just curious.
So what happened was, Buck was like, "Yo, one thing with Buckshot, Buck is a beat hoarder. Buck will keep, if I give him a beat tape, Buck will keep that forever and ever." So Buck goes and he's like, "Yo, you know that record, that jazzy thing that you did, that din 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 din. Yo, I'm gonna write to that." And he wrote "Who Got the Props?" And we went.
So it's actually good you bumped into Large Professor.
Exactly. Because I think if we'd have came out with Feminine Hood, it would have been cool, but we'd have been limited, and we'd have been one of those groups that everybody goes, "Yeah, that one single was
That's
hot."
what it. By the way, that's literally what it feels like when you describe it. It feels like you would have been a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
And we're using hit in even limited sense, like one underground hit wonder, of which there were so many.
We'd have had a hot Subway record.
That's it.
We'd have been hot in the subway, not in cars.
Yep. And for a minute, because that is a really interesting distinction of that time. Because like, there's so many groups that we love from that era who are quote unquote underground, but there are a lot of one single and two single people. They just had a little moment. They had a video, you liked it, and they didn't make it. Like what makes Black Moon and Smith & Wesson rarefied air is that y'all then dropped classic albums. Like that was not common.
Right.
Most of those groups did not have classic albums. I have a whole CD collection that I used to have of every album that would be basically like I'd see the video on TV and then I'd see it get reviewed in the source. This was like the suburban white boy's guide to hip hop. And then you go out and buy the CD. And you put it in your collection, and other people see it, and they go, "What the fuck is that?" And you're like, "Oh, remember that group? They had." And I'd be the one person who had the CD, but
they had a song or two.
They had a song.
But even I
could go on a list of God bless them, Hard to Obtain, Capital Tax, Down South,
the Legion. Remember the Legion?
There were a
lot of. I used to like the Legion too.
The Legion was dope.
I still played one of the Legion records in one of my sets.
They all had. Remember, even what's his name from Chubb Rock crew had a remember the A-Team?
Yeah, I remember that. Wow.
What was the guy's name from there? He was like the dancer.
Hot Dog.
Right, They had a hot record that was on Video Music Box.
Yeah, I remember that.
And by the way, to be clear, I like some of the albums from the groups I just named. They just didn't catch on. Like they weren't a complete enough. It wasn't a complete enough body of work.
Yeah, I like listening to them. Quest the Mad Lad. Remember Quest the Mad Lad?
I remember that. Yeah.
Siph, by the way, I saw Chubb Rock the other day.
Where?
When you see at the White House. Hey, it's no big deal.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were at the White House.
The White House.
By the way,
hold on.
By the way,
you saw him so nonchalant. He said that. The White House. No big deal.
By the way,
I went to the White House.
By the way, it was light. It was honestly, it was the White House at Jace. It was the building next to the White House. But whatever. I saw Chubb Rock. Yo, Siph, talking to Chubb Rock is literally like you turned on Treat 'Em Right in a conversation.
Well, his voice?
Yes.
Yeah, his voice is crazy.
He's the Black Fred Flintstone, really.
Yo, the Black Fred Flintstone is crazy.
Yo, he runs like this. 1990, Chubb Rock jumps upon the scene in the lead in the pocket for the three. This is how he rhymes. He rhymes like he's walking.
Not fast. 5 kids who got the cocaine.
But you want to know something? That dude is so dope. Yo.
Yeah,
so dope.
Incredible.
He is
incredible.
so
No, bro, at
he
this
is
meeting,
so underrated.
at the meeting we were at about gun violence, when he spoke. I just sat there listening. He spoke, and when he spoke, he was dope. Like, he's dope on the radio. He's a dope MC.
Yeah.
He's a dope talker.
No, bro,
he's the man.
Chubb Rock was incredible. There was an era. We always talk about this. There's the era, the Heavy D, Kid and Play, Chubb Rock, right before 92, I guess, like right before Tribe De La. It was like they got caught up in a. I mean, they all were successful, and Heavy D, of course, the most. I think Kid and Play had a cartoon.
No, they were very
serial,
successful.
But
very successful.
it would just miss this one little transition period that stuff gets kind of forgotten.
Right.
But Chubb Rock, I remember Chubb Rock was on, I think it was Yo MTV Raps, and he was in a record shop. And he was showing somebody like, samples or breaks or whatever. And I remember he goes, I think it was Fab Five, but I'm not 100% sure. But he's like, this record here, this is the beginning of Mama Said Knock You Out.
Really?
And then from that moment on, I was like, you could buy records that other people, and then that's how my record collection started.
By the way, guys, this is an important time that we stop and tell you. Cipha is severely on the spectrum, and it took him time to figure some things out.
Bro, I was fucking 16 years old. I didn't know.
Well, but hey, listen, I can tell you about the moment when I realized DJs were cutting up 2 copies of the same record. That was like, whoa, that's how they're. I thought they were playing the acapella. I thought it was the acapella.
No.
They were cutting the acapella over the instrumental. I don't know what I know.
What?
I asked my stepfather.
idea.
I asked my stepfather, how are they making that noise where it's like clack, 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 clack? He was like, I don't know. Maybe it's like some kind of echo machine.
Right.
I didn't know you get 2 copies.
No, it took time, bro. Wait, evil. Wait about this. I got turntables when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
I got to the University of Maryland when I was 18, which, by the way, that's where I think I first met you at some time during that run when I was at WMUC. And Black Moon was indie. I got to meet the soul controllers at the radio station, DJ Stylist, DJ Book. They're all DJing. I look at the turntables, and I'm sorry to our listeners who've heard the story before. I go, wait a second. They took the rubber platter off the turntable? Oh my God. I've been wondering why I can't move the record at all.
Yo.
I had slip mats, but I was putting the slip mats on top of the rubber, bro, for 4 years.
Yo.
You're lying.
I swear to you, for 4 years, I was trying to DJ with the slip mat on the
even
rubber.
knew? That's crazy.
Yo, when I finally got a brand new pair of 1200s, the first thing you do is you see that thick ass rubber mat.
Throw it in the garbage.
You take that shit, just throw it away.
I don't even think they have those anymore. I just bought the Supreme. I bought the Supreme Technique 1200s. And the rubber mat's not even in there no more.
Nah, they don't. Because they learned. They was like, you know what? People don't want this.
It's a waste of money.
It's a waste.
I just got a new turntable, and it was like, it came with a Technique slip mat.
That's all you need.
That rubber mat was just there. Like, and now here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing, right? Because these turntables was not made for DJing.
No,
they
of course
was
not.
made for record collectors to
or radio
listen
stations.
to that. It was these turntables were snob turntables.
Yes, very much.
And they was made for you audiophile cats to listen to your record and drink your
touch
cognac
everything
and all
very
that.
carefully.
Exactly.
Don't touch the record, like just touch on the sides.
Exactly. And what happens with us, of course, hip hop cats, what we do is we take anything and we make it ours.
Yeah.
You know, so
we go against the grain.
Crazy though. That's crazy when you think about it. The shit, but the people, our forefathers did before us. like made an entire company or many companies
change what they do.
adjust their factory settings and equipment to what the fuck we were doing,
Right.
which is crazy.
Right.
All right, wait. Back to the Black Moon story for a second. So where did Drew Hawk come from? Did he come from the label, or did
No,
you?
he's Jewish.
Cipha, I know. Wait, Drew Hawk's Jewish?
You didn't know that?
Stop
I'm
playing.
kidding.
Oh, okay.
So where did you guys link with Drew?
All right, so
Drew Friedman.
So
Andrew Friedman.
Yeah.
So this is what happened, right? So, we get the deal, whatever. We put out who got the props. Because one thing we started doing was we was working our record too. Like, we was in the office working.
For just who got the props.
Yeah. We was we took over a room at Nervous, and we was basically promoting our record. And Drew was up at the label working.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think he was an intern.
He was an intern at Nervous for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Drew was the cool dude that we could go, yo, what's going on up here today? And he'd be like, yo, they in there talking about blah, 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 and this, that, da, 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 da. Like Drew was like our dude that was up at the label. Yeah. And what it was going up to the label, we was cool with everybody, but Drew was the cool dude that we was like, yo, we in D&D tonight, come hang out. And that's like Drew became that dude. Now Drew, one of the things that Drew did was we had I'm gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna talk about it. We had a situation with Chuck Chill Out where we had a show and Chuck didn't show up.
Okay.
Chuck was managing Black Moon, and Chuck didn't show up to the show. I mean, he didn't show up to the label for us to go down. We had to go down to Philly to do a show. Chuck didn't show up. And we was like, yo, we got stuff we got to do, this, that, and the third. Drew took it upon himself to get his mother's car.
Oh, boy.
Drive us down to do the show. And
hilarious.
Wait, Chuck got so Chuck got Wally pipped. Chuck missed the one game, and that was it. Lou Gehrig took over.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know what this sports reference mean, but from dealing with Chuck Funkmaster Flex, there was a lot of Chuck Chill Out stories where he didn't show up.
Yeah,
everybody's guaranteed to have a Chuck Chill Out story.
Yeah, Chuck basically didn't. We couldn't find Chuck.
He was chilling out.
Chuck, he disappeared off the grid.
Okay.
Yeah,
and we couldn't
Drew
find him. And Drew was like, "Yo, I'll go get my mother's car." And
in Westchester.
Drive. Yep. He went all the way up to White Plains, got his mother's car, and drove us down to Philly to do.
What kind of car?
It was actually a BMW station wagon.
Oh, nice.
Hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? So I think I might be wrong. I remember it being a BMW. I remember it being this BMW station wagon.
Andrew, why is all this tobacco on the floor in the back seat of the car?
And believe it or not, the drive back from Philly to New York was when Duck Down was created.
Wow.
That night.
Yep. And Drew went into Nervous and was like, yo, here's my 2 weeks notice.
Shit.
And that was it.
So then he said,
That's
I no
incredible,
longer.
Bro.
He said, I no longer work here. I now manage the group that is still signed to you.
Yeah, because it would have been a conflict of interest for him.
Yes.
To work at Nervous and to work with Buck as a manager. Because him and Buck are partners.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they became partners that day.
Yeah.
And wow. And they've been working
that's the
together
short
forever.
story.
Why and how did they come up with Duck Down? Why was it Duck Down?
I don't remember how Duck Down, the name, came into play.
They probably didn't have the name that day. They just decided to become partners.
That day they didn't have the name, but
but Duck Down.
I don't remember. All I know is 1 minute it was, yo, it's Duck Down. All right, Duck Down, son.
And were you guys already into the album process at that point, or you just had a couple singles?
No, we actually had most of the album done. I think we was in mixing, right, Walt?
Yeah, we were mixing.
Yeah, we was
But
mixing the album.
with the deal, or you were just making the songs on your own?
Nah, we had the single deal. Who Got the Props blasted off, and Mike gave us an album deal. So we had an album deal with Nervous.
And
How
then
did
at some
Chuck
point,
feel about this partnership with Drew?
Oh, you know what? And I am going to talk about this. So
Okay,
this is what
Get
Chuck
at him, son.
did, right?
Get at him.
So this is what Chuck did, right? So Chuck, basically, we fired Chuck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in true Chuck Chill Out fashion, Chuck Chill Out was like, nobody fires me. You're ill. I'm going to see you guys. You guys are never going to be big in New York. And what happened was, now this is when we
I love you, Chuck.
Shout out to Chuck. I love Chuck.
No,
too,
it's a good impression. I'm just laughing
Bro,
how good the impression was.
We got to get Chuck
now-
on the show, bro.
Yeah,
Now
There's
what
been too many
happens
stories.
is Chuck turns around, like we put out How Many MCs single.
Yeah.
Chuck goes to every radio DJ and goes, yo, do not play that record.
Shit.
So How Many MCs was getting burned everywhere except New York radio.
Wow.
And what happened was, so Chuck was, he's like, yeah, you guys are nothing now. Little does he know, the single was blown up everywhere else.
No, it's
Right.
too good. It's too good.
And
It's
like,
undeniable.
So what happens is, Your MTV Raps adds How Many MCs video. And we send a fax out to BLS and KISS saying, yo, it's kind of messed up that everywhere these records added here, and it's on Raps MTV. I'm sorry, MTV, and you guys ain't playing it. And right then, Red Alert was like, fuck it. And Red Alert played the record. When Red Alert played the record, everybody else just started playing the record. And
Wow.
Chuck was tight. But that was the end of that. You know what I'm saying?
It's undeniable though.
Yeah, he couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
Like who got the props is a banger, but I like Who Got the Props better, I think. But How Many MCs is just it's hook,
harder. It's just harder.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Like it can't be that record couldn't be stopped.
Who Got the Props was our you know what I'm saying? How Many MCs was our we got
Yeah.
I mean, this is what we doing.
Yeah, it's what we do. Yeah.
You know, and Walt, because Walt did How Many MCs? Like the way Walt put that together,
Yeah.
like the record is bananas. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
fire.
Thank you.
Wait, that's and that's a Walt record. So that was all you, Walt?
Yeah. That was all me. Yeah.
Wow.
All I did was scratches.
Yep.
Walt, do you ever do scratches, Walt, or no scratching for you?
The only time I scratched on a record was Dangerous, OC. But that record has scratches by Mr. Walt
for the beat. You don't stop. That's
right.
right.
Mr. Walt, Evil D, and DJ Premier. We all did scratches on the record.
That's crazy. And then wait, what were you? I'm a nerd out with the equipment. What was used to make like for How Many MCs? What was used to make that?
The 900.
High 950, 900 and the SP.
SP.
So
But the SP was just sequencing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to program drums until we did like Heads Ain't Ready remix. That's the first record I actually programmed
drums on
right
the SP. So you mean it was just a loop? The drums were just looped.
Right.
Yeah.
Our process was when we did Into the Stage, it was just a bunch of either records or cassettes. We take to the studio and we tell the engineer, hey, take this, put this on this, do this, right? We took that money from Into the Stage and took our money and went to buy equipment so we could do the shining. So the shining was just, we were actually doing the loop, so we still wasn't really programming and chopping yet.
So Into the Stage, you wasn't really on, like, You would tell the engineer where to put stuff.
I would tell it. Yeah, I would tell him what to do.
What we actually did was we would make the beat at home.
Right.
Yeah.
And we put the loops and everything
Like
on
a very rough version of it.
Right.
And we would go into the studio and go, that sample this, that off the cassette. So that way it was the same way we did it.
That's why Enter the Stage sounds like that.
So shit's real. Is shit's real though?
Right. Shit is real.
Well, Shit is Real was actually that was done at D&D. That was like one of the first beats I ever did in the studio.
Oh,
and the reason,
right, okay, not at home. You did it.
Right.
Yeah, the reason that was, and I could explain with that was.
That's what we're here for.
I tuned like the bass line for that is California Soul, Marvin Gaye, Tammy Terrell.
Yeah.
All the other samples, the horn, which is I love John. Was it I love the Catherine, John Clemmer.
Yeah.
I tuned that and I tuned the riding high to the bass note, so that musically it matches.
Yeah, fire. That's one of my favorite beats of all time.
I did that at D&D by accident because we was doing choruses and we were sending it through this one thing and it went through there and changed the pitch and I was like, yo, hold up. Let's use that on the samples. So before, like now, you can just pitch shift in the sampler.
Yeah,
back then I was using a machine, an ultra harmonizer, to do that.
Yeah, and then because you see all those things that you see those things Premiere does on YouTube now.
Right. So what's up?
So what's up?
Yeah.
All these years I never knew he was like really doing 950. I thought he was all MPC.
Yeah.
But
he was MPC 60.
So why the 950 though? It was you could sample longer or
the 950
and plus it was the sampler of that moment. It was the sampler.
But the MPC also sampled though.
But see, the 950. Here's the thing: the 950 had a sound to it.
Yeah, it had a warmer sound.
Samplers had sounds to it,
right?
And the 950 was that's one of the reasons our filters, those bass lines sound the way they sound.
Yeah,
because we put it in the 950, and we start doing our magic with it. And the SP we used it for drums and maybe a vocal or horn stab. Right, every once in a while we use it to loop up a loop, but the 950 sample, the sample time is longer.
How did you? Sorry, I'm nerding out too much.
No, it's cool.
You had like what was going in? Like, how did you control the 950? It didn't have Did it have MIDI?
Yeah, SP1200.
SP12.
Yeah, you had the SP1200 is the brain.
So you would load it in. You would sample it. You would sample it like straight to the 950.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you trigger the sample from the 1200.
1200.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah, it's all hooked up via MIDI. People don't even use MIDI nowadays, so.
Nah, they don't even know what that is.
Guys, this has been amazing. We loved it. We hope everyone will go listen to the Beatminerz album. And if there's ever anything y'all are trying to promote or do or anything, you just reach out to us.
Thank you so much.
Same thing here,
man. For real. This was fun.
No, this was a great start to the week. We appreciate you guys. The Beatminerz, ladies and gentlemen, the album is out right now. Go stream it as we speak. It is available everywhere. Cipha, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Thank you. That's okay.